Hey everyone, it's Hubwood, and today we are talking about the brand new stylish sub $250 portable Full HD projector named KP1 by KINHANK, and we're also going to find out if it's a good idea to use it for gaming. So let's talk about that.
This is Hubwood.
Okay, full disclosure first, KINHANK did send over the KP1 for me to test it, but they didn't have any influence on my review, didn't see it before you do, and didn't pay for it either. So this is a pretty neat looking and versatile projector that when KINHANK first asked me if I wanted to review it, I actually thought it would be a bit smaller, to be honest, maybe this size, considering the images they used on their website. But well, it's still kind of portable, while it weighs around 2.2 kilogram in combination with its rather bulky 87 watt-hour power adapter and the stand. The projector itself only weighs 1.2 kilogram and the stand and the power adapter each around 500 gram. The KP1 itself has a plastic hull, but the build quality is actually good for a projector of this price class, and it feels nice. The included stand is very sturdy and fully made out of metal. With it you can comfortably turn the KP1 to any degree that you like, and in fact that way you can actually rotate it around 360 degrees. Now KINHANK claims it has a maximum brightness of around 400 to 450 lumen, and the image quality is decent and enjoyable, though the colors can't fully keep up with a good laptop screen, as you can see here. But I have to point out it looks a bit better in reality compared to the captured footage, since it's a bit tough to show that with my camera. And KINHANK claims the P3 color space is covered by 90%, though unfortunately I can't measure that myself for a projector. By the way, I changed the sharpness and the brightness from 50 to 65% in the options menu for a subjectively better image. In total darkness, the brightness was absolutely great, and even with some daylight in the room, it is still usable. Only with the window shutters fully opened and the room light turned on, it became noticeably washed out and barely usable. Placing the projector closer to the wall can improve that though, because the further away you place the KINHANK KP1, the less brightness you'll get, but that's just how projectors work in general. However, it's suitable up to a distance of around 2.7 meters, resulting in an image size of around 120 inch. You can use it with much larger distances, but of course the room then should be quite dark in these cases. It uses around 0.3 to 0.8 watt from the wall when in standby mode and around 71 watt when it's turned on, while changing the brightness didn't change the power draw at all. The internal fan is always on and quite hearable, but it's not terrible for a rather budget-friendly projector. Probably comparable to a middle-class laptop at medium load, and it's around 40 decibel from a distance of 40 centimeters and around 50 decibel directly at the air output. Though the noise is pretty subtle and stable, and it's not annoying in my subjective opinion. It features two integrated 3-watt speakers which can get really loud, filling the room, and they actually have some bass, but the sound feels like it kinda comes from inside a tin box, you know? I don't know, if you look at the projector and think about how valuable it looks, you'd probably expect better sound. Though to be fair, for a $250 projector, it's bearable. By the way, you can also use the KP1 as a Bluetooth box and, for example, connect your smartphone to play some music, etc. On the back of the projector we get an HDMI port, a USB 2 port, a 3.5mm audio jack and the power plug. The power button at the top is quite subtle and only used to turn on the projector and turn it off again. A infrared-based remote control is included as well, which can be used to completely operate the Android system on the projector, while you can also connect a Bluetooth keyboard or a Bluetooth mouse to do so more comfortably. It also comes with the Google Play Store and some pre-installed apps like YouTube or Netflix. Overall, the installed Android 9 system seemed decent, with a lot of options and basically self-explaining user interface, making it easy to find all the options and possibilities the device has to offer. I also tried to play back some 5 to 10 minute long 4K vacation MP4 video with H.264 encoding from a USB 3 stick, which works in general, but the playback was quite stuttery, and I didn't test other file types than the one I already had on that stick, which I usually use on my smart TV without problems. It also has Wi-Fi 6 to connect to your home network, and playing YouTube videos etc. via the KP1 directly worked quite well. And you can also connect your smartphone via Miracast to clone your phone's screen for a slideshow or something like that. The KP1 has an autofocus and auto trapezoid feature. With the help of the sensor in the front, that means it can automatically focus and align the image on the displayed surface whenever you move the projector around, in theory. Since for me that didn't work out in reality. At least the trapezoid feature didn't. The autofocus worked better, even though not perfect, so I had to manually adjust that with the buttons on the remote control for a better sharpness, which is easy enough. Also, you have a lot of options to adjust the image in the settings to perfectly level it yourself. Okay now, but what about gaming using the KINHANK KP1? To test that, I connected it via HDMI to my Gigabyte Aorus 15 gaming laptop and fired up some games. In general, gaming on such a huge screen is of course absolutely fantastic in the first place. While the main concern that one has when it comes to gaming on a projector probably is input lag, for a good reason. According to KINHANK, the output latency of the projector already is 50 milliseconds, which is quite a lot for gaming. And well, what can I say? It is somewhat noticeable, especially if you're sensitive to that. I mean, it is still possible to do some gaming. Overall, Forza 5 felt okay, even with the input lag, or maybe third-person action titles like Hogwarts Legacy or slower games like A Life is Strange, Sims, or Microsoft Flight Simulator would be good for that as well. Though I would not recommend it for competitive gaming, really fast games and first-person games. You can actually see the input lag compared to my laptop screen in the footage, especially when I slow that down like here. And I'm just going to show you some of that footage right now. But I've also noticed that in some sessions the input latency was bigger than in others, and reconnecting the HDMI cable seemed to help here. So that would be something to keep in mind. Also, not cloning the display but only using the KP1 as output seemed to help as well. I think that actually made some difference and improved the input latency. I also quickly tried to use Steam Link via Android on the KINHANK KP1 directly, and while it started and kind of worked, games weren't playable that way due to a very laggy connection, and the used 4-core processor, which is pretty weak, and the 2 GB of RAM of the system probably just aren't enough to smoothly stream the games. Now, one cool thing is that if you have a bright and flat ceiling, you could actually use that as a screen, because you can easily adjust the KP1's angle to 90 degrees and just play while laying on the couch or in bed. And last but not least, the KP1 also has a so-called companion mode, which lets you loop nice views out of windows, though these loops are very short and the cuts are quite noticeable, especially when sound is activated. So overall, I have to say this is a very versatile projector for the price. I really liked the look and the feel of it. The handling of the software, the image quality was decent, the speakers get loud enough, the fan noise was acceptable, and you can even use it for gaming to some degree with a laptop, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation or whatever, if you keep in mind the input lag even over HDMI compared to a monitor. For less than $250, that's definitely a good option, even with the flaws it comes with. If you'd like to get it yourself, I'll link to the AliExpress shop site in the description. Shipping is free, and right now there is some discount code available, so it's actually only around $225. And that's all for today. If you liked the video, make sure to like and/or subscribe. Thanks for watching, see you next time, bye bye and tschüss.